They don't want to come. They don't love that I'm doing comedy. They prefer that I was running a Jewish non-for-profit. There's the same amount of money in both of those. Alright, so recently, some of my friends actually that I watched this with are here, so they know it's true. We watched Jewish porn together. You guys. Yeah. It was like this really hot, sexy rabbi named Adam Brody. Have you guys seen this? It's on Netflix. It's called Nobody Wants This. Yeah, it's a real show. It's taking over our generation, okay? And yes, it's because Adam Brody is so hot and says things like, well, according to the Torah. Did I not stand up because it got too hot? I literally didn't, man. I couldn't sit anywhere. I was like, you guys, for real, what parts are we going back to later on our own? And they were like, the part with the Talmud. So it is, just not to ruin it for anyone, the girl in the back's doing the gospel and telling everyone to watch it in this room. It's about interfaith dating. What? Scandal. And it's with Kristen Bell, aka Veronica Mars. It doesn't matter what happens, the plot's irrelevant. Basically, it's 50 Shades of Oy Vey. What more do you need to know? If the hot rabbi doesn't do it for you, his overbearing, overprotective mother definitely will. She'll get you there. Listen, you don't need whips when you have the sting of the guilt of intergenerational trauma. Okay? It got me there. I was like, she hugged the girl and was like, you'll never be good enough for my son. And I was like, oh my God. Swoon. Wild. Okay, so I think the fun part about interfaith dating is that you can like really look someone in the eye and say like, it's so hot, you're not my cousin. You know, like really know they're not your cousin. Because that has not been my experience in the last few years. We're definitely all 23andMe away from each other. Okay, so I know that this is a pretty Jewish crowd, but please make some noise if you're Jewish. And also, what if you're not Jewish? We also need diversity. Non-Jews now. All right. They compensated because they're louder and we're scared. Okay. There's extra security tonight, guys. It's fine. It's fine. And we named it something inconspicuous, like 2 girls, 1 mitzvah. No one even knows what that means, okay? It's fine. And we made this into a makeshift sukkah. So if you're like, oh my God, it's a holiday? Yeah, it's called Sukkot. Did anyone have sukkahs in their backyard growing up? Yeah, so I'm actually was raised pretty observant, and we never had a sukkah, and it is because my dad cannot build things. We celebrate the holiday because like I won't even pay someone to do that. So if you guys had parents that were carpenters, that's amazing for you. It probably paid off in life because I had to buy my own toolkit. First of all, we're talking about Auschwitz. Buckle up, people. We're talking about Auschwitz. I've talked about it a lot in my life. I feel I was in the Holocaust. They say no. But I was at Auschwitz for like more than 15 hours, and that is as long as my entire family was there. So, ooh, thought about it, it's true. So, I was on March of the Living. Does anyone know what that is? March of the Living, Jewish crowd. Okay, it's a trip where you go to all the concentration camps in Poland, and then that's the trip, okay? It's the whole trip. So you're marching, everyone's dead, but we're marching anyway, we're calling it living. So before I went, I had hooked up with Don't Worry Gil, I left when he said this. I was hooking up with this guy, and he was like, I vaped at Auschwitz. I brought my weed pen, and I had to vape, you know? It was like really intense. And I was like, I have to go. And I judged him so harshly, okay, for like a while. But then I went to Auschwitz, and it was really stressful, and there was plumbing, okay? There was plumbing, it was like a mind fuck, and so I'm like in the bathroom, I'm like, I feel like I have to jewel. And so I did, I made nicotine, is that better? But I did actually make it worse, okay? Because it was a lot of people, I got really overwhelmed, so I took a Xanax, which is okay. But then I sat down for the ceremony and fell asleep in front of the gas chambers. You could say I slept through the darkest part of our history. Alright? It's like, it's so fun because you're actually all Jewish. You guys, I've had to practice this material at non-Jewish mics. I promise you the Auschwitz goes very differently. Like, oh my God, the Jewish girl's talking about Auschwitz? Yes! And then you're like, no, not again. Have you guys ever played Guess Your Race with your Uber driver? Have you gotten to an Uber and the Uber driver said, "What are you?" Listen, I know I'm white presenting Jew, right? And we cannot talk about politics at all, so that's fine, and it doesn't matter. But to not all the white people am I white, right? And he wanted me to know that, and he also wanted to know what I was. He's like, you're not white, are you Latina? I was like, "No, but thank you, Papi." And he was like, "Are you Greek?" Right direction, we're in the right part of the world now. And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, you're Turkish." And I was like, "You took a wrong turn." Not Turkish. I was like, "No, I'm Jewish." And he's like, "I knew you weren't white." I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "But the real whites, they're gonna know." I was like, "Thank you so much, sir. I am aware of the KKK." And he told me to charge the race card. To take advantage of the fact that I'm white passing and to just, I guess, be a ratchet white girl? I don't know. So I've been charging the race card, but I won't touch the black card. Okay? That is too far. Here are some rules for tonight. We're not going to talk about politics. That means the entire area of the world that is not this one right now, also this one. And we're not talking about politics. We talk about identity, who we are, Jewish, non-Jewish things. We are going to be supportive. So let's start clapping.